We're here today with Robin Gibson, designer of Starship Babel and the upcoming Arcane Bakery Clash.
Welcome to Design Diary, the podcast where you get to look inside my board game design notebook as well as what's going on inside my head. We look at a new word each day from the sense of mechanics, tone, theme, or inspiration for a full game. Today's word is...
Biddable. Easily led, taught, or controlled. Docile. Capable of being bid. So what do you have for that? Did that spark anything right away, or
okay?
did it
So
take a little while?
the picture I had of in my head was like a bigger chessboard, and there's like a bunch of neutral colored pawns on it, and then
I like bigger chessboard just as a product.
Yeah.
It's a product, like bigger
yeah,
chessboard.
it's like chess but bigger. But so like maybe a 15 by 15 or a 10 by 10 kind of deal, and then
and 10 by 10 is
like,
considerably bigger. Like
10 by 10, it's considerably bigger. But that my thought was, you have like maybe it's for 2 to 4 players, and each player has their own colored king, and then the pawns are on their turn. They can control the pawns that are closer to their king than any other players.
Okay, so they're not owned.
Yeah, no, the pawns change hands based
cool.
on based on proximity. And then I just had this like kind of idea right away, and so that's what I've got down for my notes. And then when you the other part of that was that you get one move per pawn that you control, and so your goal is to make it so that the other players can't move.
Okay, yeah. No, that's cool. One of the things that I've always I've always struggled with was thinking about this bigger chessboard, but in a multiplayer game, like when you have 3 players, how do you do that? Like, because one player's in the middle and they're sandwiched between the other 2, and on most games that's a downside in the difficulty. And I always think about that in any kind of square board where you have a side that you start on and things like that.
I don't I played a lot of Sorry as a kid, and you definitely had that situation where there was somebody, like if you were in the lead, then everyone was behind you, but if you were in the middle, then you had like you didn't want to go too far ahead, or somebody could play a 2 and smoosh you, but then there's chomping at the heels. My thought with this was that you kind of have a quarter of the board to yourself, like maybe everybody starts in one of the corners, and because the goal is to prevent the other players from being able to move, that could be the end point. So like by the time where stuff got bunched up a bit, that would be the end of the game.
Yeah, it's starting to wind down at that point.
Yeah.
That's cool. The definition for this was, not the definition, but the example was unfailingly sweet and biddable. He never put his teeth on another creature, not even when he was bitten on the snout by a friend's 10-week-old puppy. We almost doubted his full canine credentials. No pack instincts, no resource guarding. So that's a neat little side trick on it. I always go deep with these and try to bring all of it together for some reason. Then I read this and I would think that this mega chessboard has these dogs for some reason, and then I would just run with it in some terrible direction that I kind of get stuck in. That's kind of what I do, is I read these and I get stuck in one thing and just can't get off of it.
I always have like just the way I normally design is to get the absolute smallest thing done first, and so it's hard for me to think past that sometimes. Like, and as I'm describing this, I'm like, yep, that's definitely a thing. There's not a whole lot of it.
So you start small and then grow, which is funny because some people just make these massive games and then just edit down. And I know, I've been on the other side where you are, where I start with this small thing and then kind of add to it. And recently I did something where I made something large, just threw everything out at once and then edited it down, and it was considerably different. It was a neat experience, and it was just it was throwing out all the ideas that come, just throwing them in immediately. So if, like, you know, we're talking about this, we have these dogs, we have this 3-player thing, and blah, 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 and you just start throwing it all in, and then get it on the table, and then start cutting down, which is, it's neat. It's just a very different process.
Yeah, so can I tell you about my first game design experiment?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was this, the design is currently called Rocktown, because I want the sequel to be called Rockdown 2 Electric Boogaloo. But anyway, I thought it was done, and that was dangerous because I had a convention coming up, and I went and ordered 10 boards from the Game Crafter, and figured, like, okay, I can probably, you know, sell 10 boards, but like, it cost me like $500 when shipping was all done.
Oh my god!
And then I found a flaw in the board, and so that's me, this like 18-year-old, being like, well, that was dumb. And so, like, my goal has been since then to, you know, work my way up and not, you know, dive in with a giant design like that.
Oh man, yeah, that would kind of put a stop to it pretty early on.
Yeah.
Oh.
I still have them all. I've cannibalized the games because they came. Part of the massive shipping was they came all assembled, and so I've torn down the individual games into their components. So I've got a big stack of boxes and a big stack of boards, and I've used most of the cubes in, like, prototypes and stuff. But
that's good. I was cleaning out my storage. I have 2 storage units, and I was cleaning one out today and trying to just cut some things out and whittle that down, kind of like whittling a design down. But I found all these old games that I made, like 2008, 2009, the first game I kickstarted, and I hand assembled all of it, and I was just like really close to just throwing them all in the trash because I don't know what I'm going to do with them. They have a die in them. I could take the die out, but the rest of it I have just absolutely no use for. And I was like, I could give them to somebody to try to make something out of, and all right, I had no idea. I didn't throw them out. I wound up keeping them, but I don't know. I might take them to a convention and just hand them to people. Like, I have no. It's not even. It's terrible. The whole thing.
I'm going to a convention in March, and I've booked like a tournament slot, and it's because there was not really anything for designers at the convention last year, and so I booked it as a game jam. So my goal with that is to get rid of like a third of my board game components.
That's good, yeah.
Just by like having a big pile of them there and saying, okay, everybody, let's design games, and you can take them home.
That's fun. That's it's recycling. It's all good. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's good. Good chatting. Good chatting. Some Biddable. And getting to know a little bit about you, because we've only talked once before, and you know, it's pretty cool. And so tell everybody where they can get in touch with you and how they can find your stuff.
Okay, so my website is metalsnail.net, and From there, there's links to my Twitter and my Tumblr, which functions as my blog, and then also my itch.io page where I post all of my both tabletop and digital games. Yeah, that's like the hub.
That's the hub. What is Metal Snail? Where's that originate from?
Okay, so there's this deep sea snail that makes itself like chainmail or plate mail armor out of metal sediments it finds on the seafloor.
Is this fictional or real?
No, this is real.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and at the time, like when I started using it, I could get a Metal Snail username on just about any service. So that's where that came from. And I just kind of stuck with it. I do actually have it registered as a business name.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, it was good chatting, and we'll do this again. All right.
Yeah, hopefully very soon.